Hey everyone, in this video today we're going to be talking all about why your puppy doesn't listen around distractions. This video is inspired by a comment that I saw a puppy owner make. Their puppy was struggling with a particular kind of distraction and it was on the older end of puppyhood, and they made the comment, "I thought she would be listening by now." And this to me really sums up assumptions that we make as puppy owners that simply are not true and therefore affect our training in a negative way. The short answer to this question, why does my puppy not listen around distractions, is you simply have not taught him to listen around distractions. You've not taught him to focus around distractions. So, we tend to think that if we teach sit in our living room with no distractions around, our dog should be able to still perform that same sit behavior in a pet store on a crowded Saturday afternoon. What we don't realize is those two different things, those two different scenarios, in the living room with no distractions and in the pet store with hundreds of distractions, require, while the behavior we're requesting from our dog is the exact same, that they just go from a standing position to a sitting position, the skill set needed to be able to accomplish that is completely different. Completely different skill sets. Your puppy can sit in the living room when there's nothing else to really distract him pretty easily, but when there's 100 other things going on around him, if he doesn't have the skill of focus, then he's not going to be able to perform it. I have seen this, and I know it's, I'm sure you can relate. There are times, when a dog can be so focused on something that I literally believe at that moment they don't even realize that their owner exists. They're totally zoned in on something else. So your puppy can sit like nothing else. But if he is completely zoned in on something and he doesn't even hear you say sit, then he's not going to obey. He's not going to respond. And we tend to think, well, they're being stubborn or disobedient and everything. Well, technically, yes, they did disobey because they didn't perform what we said, but it's usually because they didn't even hear it because they were so focused on something else. Your puppy needs to know how to disengage from a distraction and re-engage with you, as well as maintain that focus in order to be able to perform anything around a distraction. And by distraction, I mean anything that takes its attention away from you. So this can be something like another person or another dog, or it can be something like sniffing the ground. It doesn't have to be a super obvious distraction. Whatever it is that's taking his attention away, if he doesn't know focus, then you're not going to be able to reclaim his attention and be able to have him perform the basic obedience exercises he might know. So while I'm a huge fan of teaching basic obedience exercises, all that kind of stuff, that's great. What we tend to compartmentalize the basic obedience, like sit, down, stay, come, those types of things, and put them in a completely different, we look at those as skills, but we don't, and we just assume that focus is part of that. But really, focus is its own skill. Focus is a skill just like sit or down. It has to be taught in order to be used. And it has to be, and it differs from sit or down in the fact that it is absolutely foundational, because you cannot train a puppy who's not paying attention. And you also cannot have a puppy perform a known behavior if he's not paying attention. So focus is foundational and absolutely crucial to any good dog training. Anytime I talk about focus, it makes me think about the poodle that I worked with, the poodle puppy I worked with, Xerxes. He stars in several of the videos in my Building Focus Around Distractions mini course. And when I first started working with him, he was so distractible that literally when I would take him in to go outside, there had to be nothing going on within like 50 feet, or he would just stand there and stare at it and not get his business done. And it was kind of a big problem when we first started, but he obviously was able to, we worked on focus, we worked on those types of things, all the skills involved with focus, and he was able to star in those videos in the Building Focus Around Distractions mini course, because he had learned that skill. He was a very focused dog whenever I was finished training with him. And so it can be done. There are some dogs that obviously give us focus a little easier than others. Some of them are more distractible, but all puppies need to be taught focus, and it's a foundational skill that needs to happen early on in training. So next time your puppy fails to perform a known cue, ask yourself if he really has all the tools he needs in order to perform that before you just assume that he is being disobedient or something like that, because it's very likely that there's something going on that he was not prepared for, such as a deficit in focus training or something like that. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm linking below the video from our free puppy training workshop all about focus, and in that video I share about the engaged disengaged game, which is one of my favorite ways of building focus. And I'm also going to link below if you want to learn more about the building focus around distractions mini course. You can just find that link below. Have a great day.